Yeah, it's the end of the summer tour too, and we're a bit like want to go home a little bit kind of mood,
I can imagine.
So we were at the airport yesterday because we had a little break, and then we arrived from all over the world.
Yeah.
So we had to basically, I was there at 6 at the airport, we waited until midnight or something. So it was just on the parking lot of the airport.
Yeah, it's bloody tired.
But we have a tour bus, so that makes it easier. I can lie at least,
Yeah.
It's cool though, I don't want to complain.
Good.
So everything's good. Yeah.
I forgot to ask you some water, tea, something for you?
I got some tea here.
Cool.
Good. Thank you.
I have to congratulate you on the amazing album.
Thank you.
Me and my buddies, we were just about 2 weeks ago traveling through ex-Yugoslavia. I'm half Yugoslavian, and we went through Croatian coast, bits of Bosnia, Mostar, Sarajevo, and then home again.
Nice.
And we were listening to Magma whole bloody time. We were traveling around the coast.
Really?
It fits so well to the beautiful country, the sea, the rocks everywhere, beautiful mountains.
Nice, man. Croatia
Really?
must have been beautiful, no? The coast?
Yeah.
Croatia?
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
When you don't go to the places where are crowded with tourists, you go to separate by car, you ask properly, gentlemen on the private beach, can we give you a Czech beer, and you let us, of course, gentlemen. When somebody asks so properly, enjoy. It's a beautiful country.
It's true. Nice.
You managed to travel to bits of the Balkans. So once in a while, it's really hard to get to the destinations like that. Normally, Germany, Spain, occasionally Greece, but the ex-Yugoslavia is often, left out.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah. I just had a friend asking me if you will be coming to Tunisia anytime, possibly. There's this request from all over the world.
Yes. We can be. Unfortunately, we can be only at one place at a time,
I know.
But we travel a lot. We play in a lot of places, but we never know. Like we have an agent that's booking, shows, and we have requests. We need to play in Chile. We played there once, and it was amazing.
It must have been crazy.
We promised to come back as soon as possible, so we try to keep our promises. And I'd like to play Africa. Central Africa, Mali. I don't know, like all these countries, but I don't know if there's even a possibility to do that. Like it would be an adventure. It would be on our money. But there's so many places I want to go to.
The movie must be, revolutionary, because very rare number of bands go to these destinations. There are some South Africa, some Indian experiments, some Indonesia, but most of this is done by Iron Maiden and Metallica. It's rare occasions, and occasional gent bands from, let's say, Sky Harbor. They managed to go through these. It must be. It could have been great.
I would love to try that kind of thing, but yeah, it's true that we have a fan base, and we have people waiting for us for ages in countries like even in Sweden. We do some festivals, but the friends are complaining that we don't play enough, and it's true.
Yeah.
So we don't just tour a lot. We're just on the road half of the year, which is already a big deal, and it's a lot for us on our families and stuff. But
I can imagine.
we would have to tour non-stop all the time to cover.
Fulfill everybody's
love
stuff. This interview will come out with a Czech magazine called Musicus. It's mainly gear-oriented magazine, but we do give some space to a few interviews. So let's start with the Charvel. Do I understand correctly? You have a signature model done by Charvel.
Yeah.
Could you tell us some specifications that you had in an early stage? I want this.
Mm-hmm. So for me, it's all about the pickups. I think the pickups is a good. I mean, everything's important, of course. The tension on the strings and the type of wood, the type of surface, the neck, the shape, But for me, the dynamic of a passive pickup is the most important for me in my approach of guitar. I tried active pickups; it just doesn't work for us. Because we need the dynamic, the natural up and downs of a dynamic pickup. So I paid a big attention on the pickups, and they're customs too.
Okay.
I worked with Charvel, and it's the same house as Jackson and Fender.
Sure.
So I was in their headquarters in Los Angeles, and we went through all this. The shape is very important too, the look of the guitar, and I wanted to evolve, gracefully. I'm becoming older, you know, with time, and I wanted something less aggressive than the guitar I had before.
I had that feeling. Yeah.
And the telly is really my favorite shape, I think, with the flying V, but that's another story. So yeah, I picked up that shape, but it has nothing to see with a real telly. It's really a metal guitar.
Right.
So we made a really metal guitar with a really classic shape. I liked it.
Lovely. I could see it's not exaggerated at all. It seems, solid, no rough edges. It was strong, decent, grown-up design.
Yeah, nothing too fancy. I didn't feel the need to come up with a signature that has a new shape. I didn't try to change the world of guitars with my signature model.
Absolutely.
My signature model is just a fucking badass guitar, to play rock or metal, and that's what I wanted. So I have a great tool in my hands, and it's you can buy it on the internet. It's available too. It's a bit expensive, the US model, but now there's a new model coming that is cheaper, and it's still a very good guitar. I played with it myself. I tried. I have one prototype so far.
Okay.
And, it's basically a bit lighter, so it's a lighter wood, but the shape is strictly the same.
The back, huh?
So it's a bit better for the back. I almost want to use it on stage now. Yeah, it's good. It's a good guitar.
Good. I'm glad you mentioned around the pickups, as you were picky about pickups. Because you also must have been picky about effects. It must have been plenty of brands which are coming to and begging you to try their gear. So before you decided this will be the solution regarding the pickups, regarding effects, you get to practice or test a bunch of the offers, and then you choose this will be the one that I'm going to use.
Yes. I have access to a lot of gear, and some brands send the gear. I'm not a geek, I'm not a nerd. I'm not a geek nerd. I don't spend hours on internet trying to find out the best thing. I have like small conversation with my guitar tech about the gear. It's always, I can't keep up too long. I prefer to tell jokes and tell stories. But
he knows you. He knows you well.
Me,
for years, you must have been working for years with your tech, right?
Yes.
I can imagine.
And it took a long time to be exactly on the same page when it comes to stretching the strings. He needs to stretch a lot because I'm going pretty strong on the strings. The intonation. Now he knows me so well that I don't need to double check, and I take my guitar and play, and it's always perfect like I need. And if something goes wrong, we talk about it after a while, and sometimes it's just because he didn't have time or whatever, but we're on the same page, and I don't need to have big conversations. Anyway, he's kind of a filter between me and the gear world, So he comes to me and says, okay, we're in touch with that brand, and they're offering you to try their guitar or their pedal or this or that. So I kind of trust him on that. I have kids now. I can't spend too much
time to test 15 amplifiers.
Exactly. But I do, especially on the record, because I produced it and it was in our recording studio. So I took the time to I A-B'd a lot of amps, a lot of heads, a lot of cabs, and even different guitars. And I end up using my signature model and the EVH that we use on stage. Really, even with a blind test. Okay, this. What was that? I want that. Well, that was your EVH. Okay, cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
Did you also consult your guitar tech also while you were filling gear for your studio, or did you also bring somebody from New York to help you out with picking up the full gear that you're using in the studio?
No, we did it ourselves. With my guitar tech and sound guy, and it was a few days of experimentation and recordings and A-Bing,
How long did it take to make this happen? I mean, you're really grateful, especially with your brother, to finally have a space of your own. There's some finance saving, in the future. How did the process go with this dude? Must have been, small kid.
It was a bit crazy. It was a little bit like jumping to catch a rope that you're not sure you're going to catch, kind of thing. It was nothing safe at the beginning. Didn't have a lot of money, and I had to think fast and make quick decisions. And we had to record this album And instead of really just sitting down, taking notes and drinking coffee and writing music, all of a sudden we're building a recording studio, which is crazy when you think about it.
Yes.
Nobody wants to go to a task like that when there is such a big task like delivering an album. But that's the way we do things since the beginnings. Since the very beginning, we always build our own studios and rehearsal spaces and record things ourselves, promote ourselves, do our own teasers, our own videos. I mean, we do it ourselves. So that was just another step, and it went pretty fast actually, because I hired people to help me. In New York there's a lot of communities. There's the Mexican community that have no identity, IDs and shit. They're in the real estate business, and everybody's working with Mexicans and stuff. So some of my neighbors are workers, and they're cheaper than other people. So I work with them, and we became friends. And so it's also a cultural experience.
And it's so good when you have a community around your place where you're staying.
Yes.
So great. I tend to live in fancy Prague. Then I have also in my Ostrava, close to that is a village. We have a family house. I like to switch between these worlds.
Yes.
I fully understand you, man. It's so beautiful when you can rely on your area. Absolutely.
Yeah, New York is very inspiring for that too. It's you can find anything, anywhere, all the time, and even if people will recognize you if you're in a band, they're not gonna make a big deal out of it. It's really cool. It's like everybody's together, and I like that.
But at the same time, it's bloody crazy city. I can imagine. Yeah. Was it also part of the inspiration for the amazing Silveria video?
Yes. Yeah. Well, we were there. We were mixing, and we had to shoot a video, so we were like, okay, we're in New York, we might as well use the landscape that's around us, and it's telling something about this time that we had in New York, releasing the record, and our conversations about the world, how things are going, and how people are alienated a little bit by technology, and
so many people at the same time. Lost individuals.
Yes, exactly. So there's that going on, and this video is touching a few subjects that are important for us in a poetic way. And
yes.
We don't want to be too judgmental, criticize or communicate anything that would sound like we're better than others, because we're part of this world and this society and the global ignorance and selfishness, I
can imagine, because I don't know if you were ever doing a meditation. Sometimes I changed because of some crazy experience I had within a few months, my life perception. Also, this lyrics of yours spoke to me a lot, and I began to meditate. I became a better listener. I have to ask you personally: are you involved in doing a meditation once in a while?
Yes.
It's very useful. I find it incredible. Where do you find persistence and the energy to convince yourself, meditate again? I can be tired, I can be lazy.
It's weird. These days I haven't meditated in a while actually, but I know that it's the most simple thing in the world and the most powerful thing in the world, and yet it's pretty difficult to go back to it. It's like working out. When you work out, it's like it seems easy and nice, but then when you start working out, it's really difficult to go back. Meditation can be even painful when you haven't done it in a while, and you sit and
the legs, spiders, the ants in the legs.
Even there's something about the breathing and about not moving everywhere and not doing something that is almost painful. But it's super powerful. I've practiced meditation many times.
Good to know. I can see tour manager already coming. Last question. How the hell did you come up with such incredible riffs like Silveria? Is there involved some experimentation, just sudden flows of inspiration? Because to be honest, I don't know if I'm correct, because some of the older interviews of yours I read, most of you are not into metal at all. I mean, you are big time Metallica with your brother, Def Sepultura, but also there are giant spectrum of inspirations. Plus, it's as the classic would say, the hardest thing is to make a short, great song. how the hell do you come up with such incredible riffs, man? Because when you released, let's start with Silveria and the whole album, it's one of the greatest things that happens to the metal right now. I can see there from the websites, fans, close friends. Amazing job.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you very much. Well, the way I plug something, you know, I switch to inspired mode, you know, kind of thing, and try to loosen up and just be in the moment, you know. And just, you know, I like to trip, you know, with my guitar, and I like to find melodies. I like to find. That's why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
It's not like I have an idea and a goal, like to write songs and to be in a band, and then oh shit, I have to find a way to get there. It's more like that's what I do. See, I just play guitar, find ideas, and I enjoy myself doing this, and then eventually it becomes a song, and that's why we have a band.
Yes.
So it's difficult to explain. But Silvera it was a jam, and I plugged, I pressed some pedals, and I put some delay and had my whammy pedal, and I was tripping. Just tripping, you know. Sometimes it happens in 5 minutes.
You can expect.
Sometimes it takes more time, but it just happened. I don't know.
Best thing can happen. Joe, thank you for your time. Lovely seeing you.
Thank you very much, man.
Thank you, man.